America and Babylon. Last week we have introduced right at the end of the lesson the presence of a trio power that appears in the book of Revelation chapter 13. The dragon, the sea beast, and the land beast. And we have quietly deciphered that it's Satan, represented by the dragon. But nothing was mentioned of the identity of the land beast and the sea beast. So let's pick up from where we ended.
The study starts looking more like a traditional Adventist seminar. Beasts, prophecies, dates, charts. Don't get me wrong, there is a lot of good and important information, but we do have some baggage. These prophecies are not given to us so we can make predictions or to exercise judgment, but so we can better understand the time and the conflict that is developing. Through the prophecies in Daniel and Revelation, we have seen some of the main powers in human history being depicted with remarkable details and characteristics. So, what has the Bible to tell us about the powers involved in the culmination of the end of time?
Revelation 13 and the book of Daniel chapter 7 describe a power in the history of humankind that is believed to be the papal Rome and those who actively contributed for her wrongdoings. It's not easy in today's world to make such statement of belief. It's not politically correct. But are we called to be political before being truthful? In Revelation, it is the sea beast. In the book of Daniel, chapter 7, it's a small horn. But in both, he speaks boastfully, and it will wage war against God's holy people. So do we have to be concerned now? Do we have to speak out? Definitely yes, but with a humble mind and firmness.
Papacy usurped under its own authority the right to replace Jesus. It took the liberty to change God's law, drew its own paths for salvation, implemented its own rules, and until the French Revolution, it boasted with huge political power. When General Berthier from Napoleon's army captured and imprisoned the Pope, papacy was wounded deadly. It will take a long time to recover, but at the end of times, it will play a significant role again.
It's a time period of prophetic 42 months, together with the statement that the beast will exercise all the authority of the first beast on his behalf, and also that the beast will come out of the earth. That helps us to pinpoint who the second beast is. And it's only the United States of America that fits the profile. More than 240 years have passed since America became independent, and now more than ever, it reveals the image of America that stands on the political world stage. What is still in progress, though, is its relationship with the wounded beast, the one that awaits the moment to be healed, that awaits to be able to speak and cause those who refuse, deny to worship the image, to be killed.
America has been a symbol for freedom, for opportunities, loved and hated. The point is not to get into political discussions, but to try to understand what God is trying to tell us. The biblical text depicts a transformation from gentleness to speaking as a dragon. How will this work and manifest? We don't know and should not speculate, but what we do know is that these powers will unite together.
Every power in Revelation, the dragon, the first, the second beast, appeared with a purpose, to rule and exercise authority. So obedience and worship became the central focal point as a response on behalf of all the subjects. But what happens if they deny worshiping any of those powers? The story of Daniel's friends is mentioned in the lesson as a parallel to what will happen in the last days. So, is there going to be any idol or any image to bow down before? Is there going to be any Babylon? Grouping all three powers, the dragon, the first, the second beast, all God's enemies in a real coalition, says Jacques Ducan, represents the basis on which Babylon will ride on.
Satan's ultimate goal is to keep us detached from God. When we are with God, He is powerless, and we are safe and secure, connected to life. Disconnected, there is only degradation and ultimately death. Satan wants so badly to be worshipped. He even tempted Jesus by offering him everything, only if he worshipped him. Our happiness and well-being is only when we're connected to the vine, which is Jesus, and our worship is part of this connection. And this is where Babylon comes in. Big confusion, big mess, symbol of false worship and spiritual experiences without Jesus, leaning on one's own efforts and greatness. This is what you get when you eliminate or marginalize Jesus from Christianity.
And there is so much more in this lesson that we cannot cover in only 5-minute video. I even struggled so much to find my focus and what my focal point should be when sharing my points in this lesson. However, I want to finalize with a great message that is found at the end of the lesson. God's people who are already out of Babylon have a work to do for those who are still in it.
It's important to understand the science of time and how the conflict will be unfolding and is unfolding. But we should never forget that this is a rescue mission. It's about saving people. God calls some of those still in Babylon my people. May God bless us and open our hearts to understand His voice.
The challenge continues next week with the title God's Seal or the Beast's Mark.